community and its allies. The Pride flag raising ceremony will be at 3:30 p.m. to symbolize Green Bay's ongoing commitment to diversity, inclusion, and acceptance. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
Some big plays at the Packers practice. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports in Green Bay, where the Packers are wrapping up a week of OTA practices. A 60-yard bomb for a touchdown from Jordan Love to wide receiver Dontavian Wicks. Offensive coach Jason Vrabel on how Wicks has improved.
I think he's matured so much. He's always been a hard worker. He's always practiced really, really hard, but it's just, I think mentally he was just, kind of some days going like this, and you could feel it was almost like the whole world's weighing on him. I just said, man, just let your work take care of itself.
Baseball, the Brewers opening a 3-game weekend series tonight in Philadelphia. In golf, round 2 of the U.S. Women's Open at Erin Hills, just outside of Hartford, Wisconsin. Yulimi No from the U.S. atop the leaderboard after chipping in for an eagle on the par 5 at 14.
Well, U.S. Opens are always very grand, and coming to Erin Hills definitely lived up to the expectations. It's an incredible golf course.
That's golfer Yulimi No. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and hazy tonight, maybe a stray shower, and low in the upper 40s. For tomorrow, filtered sunshine, highs in the low 70s, and into the mid 70s on Sunday with sunshine. Still a little smoky. 80s Monday. Currently, it's 66.
Mornings with Pat Kreitlow.
This is for people who watched me anchoring the news at Channel 13. My last day at TV 13 was 20 years ago yesterday.
Oh, I'm old now, too.
Well, yeah, that was my whole point.
Pat, I was, too, when you stopped working at TV.
That's what I get all the time now is people come up and they go, oh, were you on TV? I'm like, yeah. And then I go, don't say it. I watched you when I was a little kid. And they're like, yikes.
Catch Mornings with Pat Kreitlow at its new time, weekdays 6 to 9 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app. Matt Nair on air.
Congressman Mark Pocan is here. Are you planning on going out on the road again, having a couple more town halls?
Yes. No, Claire. Derek and I have been invited by Opportunity Wisconsin, so I'm really looking forward to debating Derek. My guess is it's more likely I will sprout a head full of hair than he will show up. This is important to let people know what's in this bill because there is a very good reason why Republicans are hiding from town halls.
Catch Matt Nair on air at its new time, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app. Todd Albaugh.
Hey, everybody, join us next time. We'll check in with State Senator Calda Royce from the Joint Finance Committee on the state budget and also news headlines with folks that was.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy whose house has an actual wiggle room, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Night Light, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about wiggling and the wiggles. Welcome to Night Light. This is fun. It's a Friday night, folks. We made it through the very short week, and now the weekend is upon us. So hopefully we can help you transition into your leisurely time this weekend, whatever you have planned. Conrad, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. Yeah, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Well, more of your opinion.
Yeah.
So today, this is something I usually do when I need to take out the garbage. It's at the end of the street.
Yeah.
I'll do it before I go into the studio.
Okay. I'm with you so far.
So today I had some garbage that, had some like garbage juice.
Yeah.
So what I did is
that term before.
So what I did was I put my hand out the window and I was holding the trash can like this while driving. And I was getting the weirdest looks.
You must have looked like a lunatic.
So do you think that's weird or what?
Yeah.
Where do you think I should have put it, though?
Here's the thing. I think if you watch people, almost everything they do will seem weird.
Yeah.
Like the movie Rear Window, it's like, oh, he must have killed someone. Well, he's just carrying this. Well, in that case, he did kill someone. But, I mean, the amount of times you do something like that in your life are probably thousands. You know what I mean? And yeah, people are probably like, what in the hell is that guy doing? And it'll bother them too. That's what's funny about what the hell is this guy's problem? Like, who cares? That doesn't affect you.
They're all my neighbors, so
He's got some garbage juice.
They just got to know that I don't want it dripping all over my car.
See, I think, and so you have like a community trash bin or something?
Yeah.
Right. So that's something people will find a way to be pissed off too. He's going to put that disgusting garbage in with the rest of her. Yeah, I think that's kind of strange, but kind of funny. I'd probably laugh if I saw somebody doing that, like.
It felt weird for me. That was the first time I did it, to be honest. I've done like trash routes, but in my back of my car. But it never had that much garbage juice on it.
Well, what's the juice from? Did you throw out gravy or something or what?
I honestly don't remember what it was.
Do you before you throw something out, do you empty it in the sink first or you just
I think that's where I messed up. I forgot to empty something.
Crucial garbage mistake, buddy. That's garbage 101. Come on.
Right.
I think that's a forgivable sin, though. Welcome to Nightlight, folks. This is our garbage talk, and we'll be right back with more garbage talk. Lots of fun. Great show tonight. Great guests. A good question. And we're going to talk about a really cool contest coming up here at Civic Media. It starts June 2nd. That's Monday for those of you scoring at home. It's the Civic Media Scotty Summer Text to Win contest. We do these. They get more popular every time. They're a lot of fun to do, and they're so easy. You do have to have the Civic Media app. So if you don't have it, just download it. It's so easy, and you have a chance 4 separate times throughout the course of every day to win something. Listen for your chance to win. And the contest, as I said, begins June 2nd. Listen across the network at 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 4 p.m. for your chance to win $100 cash. That's tax-free, folks. Well, if you want to report it, you can. Or a pair of Milwaukee Brewers club-level seats. And this is each hour. Every hour, you have the opportunity to win both of those prizes. And each entry you do qualifies you for our grand prize trips. Conrad, you remember where the grand prize trips are?
Oh, some great locations, Door County and Baraboo.
Yeah, 2 beautiful places in our state here in Wisconsin. So every time you enter or you play, every hour you have a chance to win $100 or Brewers tickets, and then you've got the grand prizes, Door County or Baraboo, and gas money to get you there. So it would kind of suck if you lived like in, I don't know, like, what's that, Algoma. Oh, I want a trip to Door County. They're going to pay for my gas. It's $4. You want to make a little bread on that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, why not?
But we are paying the gas money. So you're all set, folks. 4 daily chances to enter beginning Monday, June 2nd at 7 a.m. Just get, they'll say the keyword, text it in, and you are all set. Good luck, everybody. Another fun Civic Media contest. I have to, Kristen Lyerly texted me today. She has a show, and she was checking my availability, and we got to talking, and she said that we cut this promo that I thought was really funny that we couldn't air. Somebody kiboshed it. So, but we said it on this show, so I assume it's okay to say on this show. And Todd said, go for it. So can we hear that promo, Conrad? Can you play that for us?
Yes, I will.
All right, let's hear that. This is a conversation that went off the rails a little bit because Kristen Lyerly, Dr. Kristen Lyerly, is a doctor. So she brings things up from time to time. She's not scared to talk about anything. And neither am I when it's not my show. But when I'm in the driver's seat, I get a little nervous. But, we talked about lube because she brought it up and she's an OBGYN. And we ended up having kind of a fun conversation. And here's that conversation.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Dr. Kristen Lyerly is here. You just came from an OBGYN conference.
They had a lube bar because there are lots of different kinds of personal lubricants that you can use.
When you say lube, do you need that to give birth? The woman?
No, it's for sex. I recommend generally a water-based lube.
Are you writing this down, Conrad?
I cannot speak right now.
Is he blushing?
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6.
Kind of tame, right?
I was blushing.
You were blushing. You had a guilty conscience. You immediately went. I was talking to her about lube in a medical sense. You immediately went off the rails. Okay. Kristen Lyerly, check out her show, the Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show here. It's on the weekends here on Civic Media, just like you can check out New Wisco Weekend. I do a classic movie pick of the week. My classic movie pick for this week is, well, you'll just have to tune in and find out.
Oh,
that's what they call a tease in radio. Yeah. I'm getting better at this.
You know what mine is about?
Yeah, tell me.
Well, you're going to have to find out.
And it's, what time is that tomorrow for those of taking notes at home?
I believe it's at 11.
It's 11, right?
Yeah,
Both
11.
days,
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday. So it's such a fun show to be part of. And Lisa Hale does such a great job hosting the show. Speaking of shows, we have a great show tonight. Rex Sykes is here, folks. Rex is the founder of the Movie Beat. He is the host of Movie Beat, I should say, and he did found it. He found it. He founded it. He found it. And Rex will be here at 6:35 talking about film incentives and where we're at here in Wisconsin in terms of enacting this great legislation. I don't know how close we are. I tend to talk about it here on the air every 2 or 3 weeks, but Rex will be by. He's worn many hats in the entertainment business, and he's always fun to talk to. That's at 6:35. Our pal Jimmy Kuska will be here at 7:05. He is the Civic Media Sports Director, and is going to talk to us about Star Wars. Something every sports director should be skilled in is Star Wars talk. Jimmy recently rewatched Rogue One and one of the Star Wars series, and I'm not going to tell you which one, but he says it's the best Star Wars has to offer. And Jimmy is he speaks very eloquently about sports, but also about entertainment. So I'm excited to talk to Jim at 7:05. And then 7:35, folks, it is a bar band Friday night. Terry Barr is off, taking a well-deserved vacation. Do we know where Terry went?
I actually don't know.
Wouldn't it be funny if she was like at a hotel down the street, just taking a little
big trip to GB?
I think she was going somewhere more exotic, but I don't know that. And I meant to ask her and I didn't. But anyway, her Max Inc. radio co-host, Rocker, will be here tonight. And Rocker has filled in before on Bar Band Friday night, and he's a blast. So very excited to talk to our pal Rocker at 7:35. So there you go. That's a show. And all right. So today, this was kind of funny. One of my favorite songs, I would say, of the 2000 early to mid, I'm talking 2010, is the song "Forget You." Well, I can't say the real title. That I know I can't say on the air.
Yes.
So they put out a separate version. The song was called, the actual title was "F.U." and they put out tamer radio friendly version called "Forget You," and it's terrible. That sounds awful.
Yes.
But that's what we used to say when we were kids and we were afraid to swear. And Steve Seagren has a great bit about that, or he starts calling someone a mother forgetter and I forgot my girlfriend, like all that kind of stuff. So it got me thinking, a good question might be, what is your favorite swear word or phrase? Now, here's what we could do, folks. You got to keep it clean because it's radio. But you can allude to what your favorite swear word or phrase is. Mine is POS. I just say that and it makes me feel better. Yeah, go ahead.
We forgot to do the lead to the question.
Oh, I got so excited to do that. I don't think it's too late. Let's do it. Go
All
for
right.
it.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda. Question.
Question.
Questions.
Repeating. What is your favorite swear word or phrase? Please keep it clean. Now, if you're not the kind of person that swears, folks, that's fine too. I wish I was like you. You can say, it could be, what do you say when you mean to swear, but you won't use a swear word, like fiddlesticks or rats, or what's the other one from Napoleon? Flippin'.
Yeah.
They're just words. Sometimes I just want to say, you're not going to offend me, but you never know who you're around. Sometimes you want to save it. So what is your favorite swear word or phrase? You can either describe it to us using radio friendly or text friendly on the radio language, or you can say what you say in place of that. Freaking, flipping, HE double hockey sticks, whatever it is, HE double toothpicks. But please feel free to share all of this stuff. It's 855-752, what's it?
4842.
4842. This is my former number and I can't remember. 855-752-4842. You can text us on the app, which you should have anyway, to play the Scotty Summer Contest here at Civic Media, which starts June 2nd. The way I did that, Conrad.
I like it.
Snuck it in. A little extra promo. Or if you're watching the radio on Twix, also known as Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, you can text us on the stream as well.
Yeah.
We accept any and all. The question every day has been posted to our social media accounts. So if you're there, and especially Facebook, we get some pretty good responses. You can share your your answers there as well. And if you're there, give us a like or a follow. We like to get those. So let us know what you think, and we'll read those after the break. But right now, I have to tell you, and this will be a question at some point next week too.
Yeah.
But there is a new soap on the market. You think Irish Spring is great? Hey, great. How about, what is it? Ivory, lava, whatever you use. Now you can buy Sydney Sweeney influenced, not just influenced, but they found a way. The soap scientists have found a way to incorporate Sydney Sweeney's actual bath water into the soap. And it's for sale. So you can buy that, folks. Whether you're just concerned about cleanliness or a bona fide prevert, whatever. You can buy Sydney Sweeney soap that smells like her bath water. Now, I only assume it's bath water she's bathed in and not just like she drew a bath and then just said, here's the water, because that would be fraud. Right? Would you ever buy that, Conrad?
Well, actually, I already pre-ordered a 30-pack.
Couple cases? Yeah. Perv.
Well, I think she's going to smell good, which makes me smell better.
But what if she doesn't smell good? I know she's beautiful.
It smells terrible.
What if she stinks? And no one is going to tell her that because she's Sydney Sweeney.
But it's the bathwater, so would it smell like her soap? So
Either way,
this soap based off another brand?
I don't know. Jacob Elordi bathwater soap?
Oh.
She could stink, though, and no one's going to tell her because she makes them too much money. So here's an open invitation to Sydney Sweeney. Come by the Nightlight Studios. I'll smell you. I'll give you the go-ahead and let you know if this is a good product.
Maybe drop off,
and give us a few bucks. Yeah. All right, we're coming right back. We're going to read your text and talk more about Sydney Sweeney soap. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW.
UW-Madison is one of the country's leading hubs for supporting life-changing research and building a skilled workforce. An investment in UW-Madison helps make a healthier Wisconsin, build strong businesses, and win the war for workforce talent, not just in Madison, but across our entire state. Visit uwalumni.com/UW9 to tell your legislators to support UW-Madison in Wisconsin state budget. That's uwalumni.com/UW9. Paid for by the Wisconsin Alumni Association.
Tattoo addiction is here, now in the Fox River Mall. They are the only walk-in tattoo shop open all day, every day, like no other. Check out their $40 small tattoo special, perfect for your first ink or a fresh edition. And that's not all. Their piercing game is strong. From nose to navel, they've got top quality jewelry and expert piercers ready to hook you up. While your family shops, get the treatment you deserve. Come meet their experts today inside Fox River Mall. Tattoo addiction. Walk in, get ink, stand out.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, a time to pause and remember your mental health is as important as your physical health. Jeff Olson's son struggled with stress and anxiety, and this father from the UP says he's speaking out to save lives.
He came to us, asked for help as a junior in high school, fought it for 3 more years, had a couple suicide attempts in between there. The anxiety and depression was too much for him, and he ended up taking his life. My wife and I felt the need to speak up and not hide this, in hopes of educating people so they didn't have to go through what my son Daniel went through.
If you're struggling, you are not alone. Reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. The Suicide or Crisis Lifeline is available 24/7. You could call or text 988 anytime. Again, 988. Let's choose to connect and care for ourselves and others this month and every month. I'm Terry Barr for the Civic Media Radio Network.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones. Check 511wi.gov or download the app for road work or closures on your route. Know before you go with 511 Wisconsin. Sponsored by the Wisconsin.
See you driving round town with the girl I love, and I like forget you. I guess the change in my pocket wasn't enough.
Sometimes in life, you have I can't say fiddlesticks or, oh, shoot. One time my dad, he's more like, he didn't want to swear around his kids. My dad would get really upset and he'd go, geez. That doesn't cut it. I'm sorry. Geez. Gee whiz.
It just doesn't have the same effect,
And it's only because I was there. I'm sure everybody swears. I know my mom swears sometimes. I've caught her. But some people just aren't comfortable doing it in front of other people. So,
you know what my favorite is?
What is your favorite?
Son of a biscuit.
Son of a biscuit. Yeah, that's
because
a good
it
one.
makes me sound a little Southern when I do it.
Yeah, all right. It makes you hungry too. I know shut the front door is one.
Yeah.
I don't know where this one came from. I've only heard this in Wisconsin, but holy buckets. What is that?
That is great.
It doesn't even make sense. All right, we got some responses. And I'm not done with this Sydney Sweeney thing. Did you see that? Here, she put this comment out, Conrad, and you shared it in the chat. And I did see this as part of the article, but I didn't clip it. But here's Sydney Sweeney's comment about why she's putting out a soap that has the essence of her bath water. She says, I honestly think it's a really fun full circle moment because fans always joke about wanting my bath water. Well, they're not joking, Sydney. I was like, this is just a cool way to have a conversation with the audience and give them what they want. Do you honestly think Sydney Sweeney wants to have a conversation about men who want her bathwater? She wouldn't go near them with a 10-foot Sydney Sweeney pole.
That's a great pickup line.
What?
Hey, could I have your bathwater?
Yeah, right. That's a great line if you want a restraining order. She says, but then also hopefully encourage them to take care of themselves. In a healthy way. The phrase take care of themselves, there's a little leeway there. Because let's be honest, guys don't want to smell like Sydney Sweeney. They want a girl to smell like Sydney Sweeney or their wife or their girlfriend. And that's weird too. Honey, I prefer you smell like this movie star.
So you're saying this is a potential Christmas gift?
Well,
or an anniversary gift?
Depending on how comfortable you are in your relationship. I think it's a product that men and women are buying for two very different reasons. And, whatever. She's probably going to make I hope it smells good. This is an open invitation, though. Come on by the studio.
Yeah.
I think she keeps a place in Green Bay, right?
Well, you guys are on talking terms now?
Well, we're getting there.
Okay.
It's been a long road. I cheated.
On Facebook.
Facebook. I Netflix cheated on her. But I think I've heard, and, she might keep a place in downtown Green Bay. If that's the case, swing by WGBW. We'll smell you free of charge, and we'll let you know if we think this is a go. All right. Going to the social media responses to today's question, folks, which is, what is your favorite swear word or phrase or imitation swear word? Have fun with it, folks, but keep it clean. Lisa Hale, host of New Wisco Weekend, says, keep it clean. Okay. Was that grandma would say, never anything stronger. Me? Oh, mine is that lovely 4-letter powerhouse. Oh, there's a few of those.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume it's the F-bomb. Luke Mathers says, clean? FFS. You know what that stands for, Conrad? That's a good one, too.
For father's sake.
Yeah. For Phil Dunphy's sake. That was a great episode of Modern Family where Phil thought WTF meant why the face. Vince Moranto, our pal, the Chicago comedian, he's been on the show. He says, son of a diddly. I never heard that one before.
I haven't either.
I like it, though.
Yeah.
Sounds a little Flanders-esque. My pal, Dick Lesbrons. Here's my history with Dick Lesbrons. Dick was 2 years ahead of me in high school, and he used to joke that he was the all-time pregame scoring leader at Catholic Central. Layup line, shoot around.
Yeah, nice.
And I broke his record.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I was on the bench during the games, but I tore it up in the pregame. Dick says, shizzle bedizzle. I never heard of that one either, but you know what, Dick? If it works for you, he could have said his first name too. I don't know. Mike Mercury, keep it clean. What the, and then he did asterisks, kind of asterisk is that? Exactly. See, Mike gets it. Love Mike. Sheila Rosenberg says, I don't even know if I can say some of these. Lint liquor? What's that? That sounds obscene. Because where is lint? The pocket.
The belly button.
You get a lot of trouble down there. Especially if you got a pocket full of bad intentions. Todd Michaels says, Sheila Rosenberg, Cootie Queen. It's an inside joke probably between Todd and Sheila. Sarah Jean says, son of a nutcracker. That's a good one.
I like it.
It's got the hard K sound in there. You get a little satisfaction out of that. Civic Media's Chuck Gennaro says, LOL, yeah, I got nothing. Come on, Chuck. You're better than that. That's hilarious. Going to the text line. Oh, I can't wait to read these. Because now I've given an example. The social media one, I have to tip my hat. People kind of ran with it and had fun, even without any kind of direction. All right, we've got Nick Wallander. This is from social media too. He says, is that from last night? Did I scroll back that far?
That was from last night, but I put it in there because that was right as the show ended.
I could swear I read that.
Oh,
I did read that. But,
okay.
It's better to be thorough.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tom in New Berlin says, Pete, what a topic when you realize you're a stupid human. All driver leave their blinker on. It's one what's due. I don't get that. Sometimes I think Tom just says whatever's on his mind, and I love his, like, he either hits a home run or it's like, I need some clarification. Tom, you're welcome to text back.
I think that was all voice text too.
Yeah. Oh, I do that all the time, as you know. WMDX, listening on WMDX, shut the front door. Great one. That's from the 212, baby. Roger from Stevens Point says, instead of cursing, I say horse hockey and buffalo spit.
I like those.
Love that. Buffalo spit is fantastic. Rogers in the 715. All right, we're coming back, folks. Rex Sykes is here. We're going to talk a little bit about Wisconsin incentives, film incentives. We'll get an update as to where things are at and why people should make movies in Wisconsin, because they should. Dagnammit. See what I did there?
I like it.
All right, we're coming back. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Solitaire. I can remember when I caught up with a pastime intimate friend. She said, but you're probably going to say I look lovely.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
From local news to what's going on around the state, Civic Media's mission is to bring you real news and great conversation. For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson hinted that he may not run for another term when his current term ends in 2028. In an interview with The Hill Tuesday, Johnson referred to himself as, quote, just a guy from Oshkosh trying to save this country. Johnson narrowly retained his seat in the 2022 election, just edging out Mandela Barnes. President Trump is the only Republican to win in a statewide ballot since then. Senator Johnson is currently pushing back against the budget bill passed in the House, saying it doesn't reduce spending enough. Appleton, Oshkosh, Green Bay, and Sheboygan are all on U.S. News and World Report's ranking of the 250 best places to live in the country. Eau Claire was the highest ranked city at 49th. Appleton was second highest at 53rd. Oshkosh is 114, Green Bay 170, and Sheboygan comes in at 185th. Other cities making the list are Waukesha, Wausau, Janesville, and Kenosha. What is the plant of the year? Well, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources has announced the Rare Plant Monitoring Program's 2025 plant of the year is the milkweed. So the agency is encouraging residents to plant milkweed in their yards. There are 13 native milkweed species in Wisconsin. 5 of them are listed as endangered, threatened, or under special concern. Milkweed is especially helpful for monarch butterflies, as they are the only plants the butterflies lay their eggs on and the only food the caterpillars eat. Residents can find native milkweed plants on the DNR website. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Speaking of privileged cluelessness, actress Jenna Ortega says she was unhappy after her role in Wednesday catapulted her to fame. The rich 22-year-old actress told Harper's Bazaar becoming famous was intense and scary. She also said she was unhappy playing a schoolgirl in the show when she was becoming a young woman in real life, which she feared would not allow people to take her seriously. Such a big fat bummer. I'm sure Starbucks is hiring. Actress Felicity Huffman went on Good Morning America to talk about her new and most likely terrible Lifetime film. While being interviewed, she reacted to the news that Kerry Washington is part of a new Desperate Housewives reboot. She said it was great that they are redoing Wisteria Lane for women of color. This is the same woman who cheated to get her own privileged but not so bright daughter into college, most likely taking a spot away from someone who needed it more or a person of color. It is good that she at least seems okay with TV people of color getting ahead. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This report sponsored by the City of Marinette, home of the Queen Marinette Run the River Powerboat Races, June 7th and 8th. More details at fishonmarinette.com.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and hazy tonight, maybe a stray shower, and low in the upper 40s. For tomorrow, filtered sunshine, highs in the low 70s. And into the mid-70s on Sunday with sunshine. Still a little smoky. 80s Monday. Currently at 64 degrees.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
The Todd Albaugh Show.
Positive psychology coach Kira Sabin, it is great to have you back.
I love the idea of self-help, but there's also something called community help. We have become so divided. We've forgotten that our neighbor is really nice and makes great cookies and probably has the same concerns on a daily basis that you do. I think that we think things have changed, and I think we're just have stopped talking to each other.
Catch the Todd Albaugh Show at its new time, weekdays 2 to 4 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app. Lean Local with Jim Schmidt.
He was in your living room for 40 years. Yep.
Going down, down, down. Come on! We get twisted and we go out before night.
We're having fun, folks. We've got a great show. Rex Sykes is here in just a minute. We're going to talk about incentives in Wisconsin and why people should make their movies here. We all know why, but we're going to reiterate, so to speak. Jimmy Kuska is here at 7:05 talking about his favorite. He thinks it's the best Star Wars has to offer. And he's not the sports director for nothing, folks. We're going to probably ask him a couple sports questions, too. And it's a Barman Friday night. Rocker will be filling in for Terry, her Max Inc. co-host, at 7:35. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite swear word or phrase? What's your go-to? We got shut the front door, buffalo spit. You can use actual swear words, but we have to be able to read your text on the radio, so use your imagination. Sherry from Horicon says, good evening, Pete and Conrad. I say rats. Really bad rats. Sherry lives in a Peanuts cartoon. Thanks, Sherry. Christine from Slinger says, piffle. You know that one, Con?
I've never heard that one.
Never heard that either. Oh, thank you, Christine. That's a good one. Getting some new ones here. Brian from Green Bay says, can Conrad talk to Dr. Lyerly on why, hey, can I smell your bathwater is not a smooth move for the ladies? I'll be sure and bring that up next time Kristen's here.
I'm going by it. It's a great pickup line.
All right. We will get to more of your text later. Right now, it is my pleasure to welcome to Nightlight. He is the host of Movie Beat, and he is working actively to get incentives passed here in Wisconsin with a group called Action Wisconsin. I don't know if he's actually part of that or doing something separately, but either way, he's to be commended. And he's an old friend. Rex Sykes joins us now on Nightlight. Hey, buddy.
So good to be with you again, Pete. You always do a great show, and it's thank you for having me on and having Conrad make all those arrangements. So thank you.
Oh, our pleasure, man. That's what we do here, Rex. We need some content, and you're the guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to ask you. All right, so sometimes when I think about you, I'm like, well, Rex is this. No, he's this. No, he's this. You have worn a lot of hats, and we'll get to the incentives, but you've worn a lot of showbiz hats. Can you tell us some of the hats you've worn?
Well, I'm a SAG actor and I'm a producer. I've done some writing. I don't consider myself a writer, but I've written screenplays and different things and have helped doctor some some projects. I consult, I teach acting, and I direct. So, and I've done production management, first ADing, and, a whole bunch of it. If you're going to be in the film business, you might as well learn to do everything. And so, but what that does is it means that nobody knows what I actually do, because
Jack of all trades. All right, let's do this. This is interesting because you just said first AD. Tell people that are listening that might not know what that means. What is a first AD, Rex?
It's the first assistant director, and they don't assist in the director's vision. They help. I mean, they're not directing the movie. They're helping the director put the director's vision, the writer's vision, the producer's vision, whoever that is, up on the screen. So they're the communication hub. They are the one who, through every department in film business, runs through. They are the safety person, and they are responsible to make sure that you move from one location to another location, that you get done on time and under budget. So they at First AD does everything. They help budget. You name it, there's probably not a job that a first AD doesn't do. That's why their life expectancy is like 50 years old.
It's a good gig, though. Like, if you get in that union, it's a great gig. What is I always hear this term, and I think I know what it is, and I've actually made a movie, and I still am not 100% sure, so maybe you can clarify. What's a second?
The second is the second AD, and there's a third AD, and they all have different jobs. Like one may shuttle people, cast members, and things from the dressing rooms to, or from the sound stage to their trailers and whatever, and get them on the set on time. The second usually is the person who does all the contract paperwork.
Very well
done. Things like that. Unless I'm wrong, and then it wouldn't make much difference.
Well, look, I wouldn't even know. So well done. I think what we're about to talk about soon, this stuff's important because we want, if more movies get shot here, we want people to be able to come here and crew up in Wisconsin and not have to bring crew from out of state, because typically, and I don't know the legislation here, but typically that's not deductible or refundable, so to speak. If it's what you spend here in the state. So let's dive into the incentives, Rex. Tell us what role you're playing.
Well, I happen to be friends with the people at Action Wisconsin and the people who are doing that. I had a much larger role back in 2006, 7, and 8, and 9 when we originally had film incentives. And but I live in Los Angeles and Wisconsin, and so it's important for me in both my homes to be able to work. And what incentives do, and they're bringing them back to LA too, it looks like. But if you look at the dictionary definition of incentive, it's a thing that motivates you or encourages you to do something, which means either to invest in something or to stimulate greater output. So what tax incentives are is it brings business into the state where people can invest. What we want to do is we want to attract film companies to come in and spend their money in the state, because when they do that, there's a multiplier effect. What that means is for every dollar they spend, the state would get $6 or $7 or $8 back in terms of profit or return on investment. You also want to incentivize the people in the state so that they can produce, and we can become part of a global economy. And that means that we produce and then we distribute, or we output the product that we produce to the world. And people sometimes have a difficult time thinking about it, but filmmaking is, you're a director, filmmaking is a manufacturing process that's really not any different than manufacturing a pair of shoes or a purse or a television set. It comes with an idea, which is then written down. It becomes a screenplay. It then goes into a pre-production mode where you have to figure out how you're going to do what you're going to do, and you're going to allocate money. You're going to have to budget it. And from the pre-production stage, it goes into a production stage, and from a production, which is a manufacturing process, is when people show up on the set and they film it. And then they have to do post, meaning they have to edit and color it and do the sound, design and all that kind of thing. And from there, there's the marketing, the distribution, and the marketing of it. So it's like taking any product to market. And in this case, it's entertainment. And entertainment is one of the largest global exports of the United States in the world. And Wisconsin could capture that and benefit by that by passing the incentives, which would mean that the local people would work more, and that outer people could come in and produce their film works, and they would get a tax break. We don't need to go into all of that because
Right.
because it's hard to explain in some ways, but it's all above board. And there's things that you get a tax break for, and there's things you can't get a tax break for. And so
Right.
it's like a line item kind of thing that we'll give you a discount on this, but you have to pay full price on that.
Right.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, the more you spend in a state, the more you get either in a rebate or whatever the incentive happens to be. But it's very good for the economy, very good for state economies. My guest is Rex Sykes. He is the host of Movie Beat, and he is working hard to bring film projects here, hoping to get these incentives passed. We are one of the only states, Rex, without a film office.
Yep.
Let's say this goes and you work for the film office.
I want to helm the film office.
How do you
charge?
Okay,
Yes.
you can wear that hat too. What do you say to people? How do you draw them here? How do you pitch Wisconsin?
You pitch the advantages of the locations that you have, the beauty of the state.
Great.
We've got a big city, we got small cities, we got rural, we got urban, we've got the big lake, we've got forest, we got a lot of opportunity for people to come in and use Wisconsin as a background. But you also have the labor force here and attract people in for the. I'm trying to think. There were a couple parts to your question.
Well, that was fine. I was just saying, what is it about Wisconsin that you would sell? And you kind of just did it. You said big cities, small towns, lakes, forests. We've got hills. We don't have mountains or oceans, but we've got almost everything else. I mean, there's a lot you could film here.
When I first came here, I would encounter producers from Los Angeles and around the world who say, I would love to shoot in Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. It's gorgeous. It's an incredible place to be. The people are wonderful, but they couldn't do it because it was too costly without incentives, without some form of break. Now, there's also a cap on these incentives. In other words, there's only so much you can give away and to a particular production, like up to, say, $1 million or a cap where after 10 million is spent, they've been exhausted for that year. But the thing that people need to really realize is that all this money that we're talking about goes into the mom and pop shops. It goes into all the amenities, the hotels, the rentals, the carpentry, the plumbers, the electrician. I mean, anybody who's part of a production process within this state, is the beneficiary of the influx of money, because let's say they bring in a movie crew, right? And they can bring in X amount of people, and then they have to hire X amount of people from the state. They bring those people in, they have to house them, they have to feed them, they have to, shuttle them around, they have to transport them, they have to rent cars, they have to rent the spaces, they have to, get permits for the production. So all of that money goes right into Wisconsin all over the state. I mean, that's the benefit of this thing, is that it benefits the entire state. So on the west side or the north side or the south side or the east side, you're benefiting from increased. Back in, you made the movie here. Yours wasn't incentivized, was it? Godfather?
Not technically. We had so much help from the community, though. I couldn't even put a number on it, and that's a big help too. But Rex, how long will it take, in your opinion? And you've, like I say again, there's a reason I asked you how many hats you wear or have worn. How long will it? Let's say the incentives pass, the legislation is enacted next fall, the fall after, whenever. How long does it take for us to have the workforce in terms of crews, best boys, gaffers, all that stuff? How long does that take?
Well, it will take a while. I mean, if you look at Atlanta, which is up and running and one of the biggest, industries in our country now, or New Mexico has been in different locations. It'll take a while. There are people here who are qualified and capable and competent and ready and willing and able to work. And then there are others who need to be brought up to speed. Like anything, it'll take some time. But during that time, keep in mind that the productions are going. I mean, even let's say no local Wisconsin person worked, and all we did was attract people in. That money would still benefit the state, and during that time we could be educating and training all of the people to be able to do the job. So there's a benefit even if we're slow, in terms of growth. But let me revisit something, Pete, because it's important. Back when the incentives, we did have them. We had them for a year, and then they were removed by a governor at the time in 2009. There were only 4 movies that got incentivized. Project Solitude, which was renamed Susan Moses. I think she did it up in the Mike Masdorf did the Tony Shalhoub movie Feed the Fish. Terry Green came in with No God, No Master in 2009, and a $5 million movie on the first domestic terrorism in the United States back in the 19th century. And Michael Mann had Johnny Depp, Public Enemy. But there were 25 other productions going on in 2008 that weren't incentivized. One was David Lynch's ex-wife. That was Baraboo, the film that she made, and a host of other projects that were going on that were all part reality TV shows and other things that came into the state. Didn't get a dime in incentives, but they came here because we were film friendly and they wanted to shoot here. And see, this is the thing. So not every film maybe get incentives, but it will create an avenue for people to come in and produce their projects and get them then out to market, and create the avenue for us to be able to produce here locally and get it out to market. So it's a win-win,
We'll pick it up right there. We got to do a very quick break. We'll come back with a few more minutes with our pal Rex Sykes. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Light on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Here comes my baby. Here she comes now. Walking with a love that's so fine.
It's on air and streaming on the Civic Media app. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley for over 30 years and are proud sponsors of Mino and the Mayor's Eye on the Community. Insight offers comprehensive eye care, including glasses and contact lenses. Their doctors have a special interest in treating chronic eye disease, specialty contact lenses, and pediatric care. Find Insight on Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Visit WIinsight.com to schedule your eye exam. Improving lives by improving sight. Insight Eye Care.
Medicare loses about $60 billion annually to fraud, errors, and abuse. June 2nd through the 8th is Medicare Fraud Prevention Week, focusing on the actions everyone can take to prevent, detect, and report Medicare fraud. Learn more by liking and following Wisconsin Senior Medicare Patrol on Facebook. Then visit our website, smpwi.org. For information and advice, remember, Wisconsin Senior Medicare Patrol.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. We are in a rare moment right now in Wisconsin politics. Why, you ask? Well, it's because we are not actively in the middle of a campaign cycle. It's been more than 6 weeks now since any of us have seen a campaign ad. It's been pretty nice, hasn't it? The moment we're in is as close as we're going to get to a political off-season here in Wisconsin. And we need to take advantage of this moment by taking action to improve our democracy. That means taking steps to address money in politics, cleaning up some issues with election administration, and creating a long-term plan for nonpartisan redistricting. In some cases, we can't make these kinds of changes in the middle of a campaign, so we need to be thinking about what we can do now. There's a lot both parties can agree on here, too. So let's make some moves this offseason, Wisconsin. Seize this moment to make a better, stronger, more inclusive democracy.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area and on our website at civicmedia.us.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Hey, this is John Grise, also Uncle Rico, and you're listening to Nite Light with Pete Schwaba.
Gonna be some sweet sounds coming down on the night shift.
Welcome back. This is Nightlight. I am Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Friday as we all ease into the weekend together. Tom from New Berlin said, Tom says, when you realize your blinker is too long, stupid, we know we've all been there. And then Tom says, you're Pete, once in a while, I am witty. That's our class clown love. You got it, Tom. I appreciate the clarification. Thank you, buddy. Mark from Prater Sack says, sorry, what is he saying? I don't get that. Is that the swear word?
That's first part of his text. If you read up, he's clarifying.
Okay, thank you, Mark. And Aaron Sommer says, wait, you can say lube on the radio? Well, you can if you're Kristen Lyerly. I just went with it. I don't share her potty mouth type thoughts. But all right, we have a few more minutes with our current guest, Rex Sykes. He is here. He is the host of Movie Beat and he's trying to help bring incentives to the state to get more film shot here. Rex, we just have a couple minutes left. Yeah. Tell us about Movie Beat.
Well, I want to, but I want to do something really important before that. Everybody who is interested in this should write their state legislators, representatives, and they can do that by going to actionwisconsin.org. It's actually, I mean, if you have a way of putting it up, that would be good, but it's actionwi.org, I believe. And but reach out to your representatives. This really does benefit everybody. And I would be remiss. I mean, I'm a champion for film and a champion for the film incentives, but Action Wisconsin, Imagine Milwaukee, people like Ann Katz, George Sucrose, Jeffrey Kurz, Susan Jerva, and so many people have been championing this and have repiloted this to make it happen. And it's being voted on, I guess, soon, and the governor's got it on his desk. So, we really need the action of the people to help make this happen and to happen as soon as possible. So, but a big shout out to all those people. Susan Kearns, who's the head of the
Milwaukee Film
now, and yourself, and so many other people are really doing everything they can to make this happen. I'm a person, a cog in the wheel.
No, I get it. And a perfect example of that is I have a script that I wrote and I wanted to direct, and maybe I still will, maybe I won't, but we were going to go to northern Minnesota. They have very aggressive incentives there. Would I rather shoot it in Wisconsin? Absolutely. But you have investors to answer to. To your point, that's exactly why we need the incentives.
Well, and, the other thing is the brain drain. Kids graduate from college and they leave to go pursue careers elsewhere, either Hollywood, New York, or Europe, or, Florida, or Atlanta now. A lot of people are in Atlanta. So what this does is it keeps the talent here, because if you can't work here, you're going to go where the work is, or you're going to give up on your dreams. So in order to
keeps the kids in mom and dad's basement for a little longer, and there's nothing wrong with that, Rex. Let's be honest.
I wish my kids were in my basement right now. I really do.
I know the feeling. All right, so tell us about Movie Beat. Where can people find it?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, tell us about Movie Beat before we let you go. Where can people find it?
Oh, it's okay. So it's on rexsikestv.com, REXSIKESTV.com. I do live shows. I also do another show called Create Your Best Life with Rex, which is a little different in scope. It has to do with my book, Life on Your Terms, Create the Life That You Want.
Yeah.
So I created Rex Sykes Movie Beat in 2009. I had a massive website at the time, and it addressed film incentives, film production here and all around the world, and had celebrities. There's over 600 hours of archive shows available on Spotify, Apple, wherever podcasts are heard, and on YouTube and Rex Sykes TV. Just did a show with actually Susan Jerva and Jeffrey Kurz on incentives. They are Wisconsin filmmakers. Jeff worked at Miramax for 8 years, and Suzanne Jerva worked with Steven Spielberg at DreamWorks for 10 years. They've come back. They're making movies here. And Jeff Ohm, I did a show Wednesday with Jeff. He's a post-production colorist, special effects, visual effects artist, producer. And we did a show on what he does recently. So you can go, you can listen, you can watch on YouTube. You can watch, you just search Rex Sykes Movie, or search my name, and I come up in just so many different ways.
It's a great show. And I love how you cover different aspects of filmmaking and like some of the stuff people might not always know. So keep up the great work, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. My goal when I was a kid was I didn't have a mentor. I wanted to know what to do and what not to do. And nobody would tell me anything in Hollywood. They just go, And so the show is film experts, TV experts, streaming experts sharing what to do, what not to do to navigate a career and to have a career, and so that you can fulfill your life and live your dreams. And I'm very proud of it, and incredible guests and celebrities that are on it all the time. So go check out Movie Beat, but also be sure to stay tuned to Nightlight.
Oh, well, thank you, buddy. And keep up the great work with the incentives and keep doing a great job with Movie Beat. Have a great night, buddy. Thanks for taking the time tonight.
You too. Thank you for having me. And,
Right.
and you keep up the great work and make that movie. And I want to be in it, but make that movie.
Okay. Sounds good, pal. All right. That's Rex Sykes, everybody. Check out Movie Beat and check out actionwisconsin.org. It's actually actionwi.org if you want more information about the incentives. Hopefully they'll pass. Our question of the night, folks, is what is your go-to or favorite swear word or phrase? And I say, please keep it clean so I can read it on the radio. You can hint around and I'll probably figure out what it is. I probably said it. Or you can give us kind of an imitation, like fiddlesticks, rats, shut the front door, that kind of stuff. Mark from Prairie du Sac says FTS includes two FCC banned words. He says the middle T is this, may give you a clue about the F and the T. Freak this S. Done. I got it. I could work for the CIA.
I think so.
I think so too. Aaron Sommers says, wait, you can't say loop on the radio. Aaron, you cut that promo. You think Zommers cut the promo and then stuck it to us and wouldn't play it? The Z-Man? I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mark Brady's says that. Sorry, I read that one. All right, we got more text to read. We got more guests to get to. Jimmy Kuska, Civic Media Sports Director, will be here next. We're going to talk about some Star Wars, and we will talk a little sports, too. Jimmy's coming up after intermission. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. At a rally in Pennsylvania, President Trump saying he's going to double the tariff on steel to 50%.
It's at 25%, they can sort of get over that fence. At 50%, they can no longer get over the fence.
Trump making the announcement at a rally of steelworkers at U.S. Steel near Pittsburgh this afternoon, celebrating investments by Japan's Nippon Steel in the company. The president marking Elon Musk's departure from the administration with an Oval Office press conference. Trump saying that Musk will leave his mark.
Many of the Doge people, Elon, are staying behind too, so they're not leaving. And Elon's really not leaving. He's going to be back and forth, I think. I have a feeling.
A major win for the White House in the battle over immigration. The Supreme Court granting the Trump administration's request to revoke humanitarian parole for more than 500,000 immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. This is ABC News.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. A powerful legislative committee has inched forward on the next state budget. Charlie Pittman has more.
On Thursday, the Joint Finance Committee approved updates to the public employee pension system and continued funding for youth firefighter training programs. They also voted to keep 5 call center positions at the Department of Safety and Professional Services for another 3 years. That agency handles licensing for workers in hundreds of skilled trades, from electricians to nurses. Democrats on the committee pushed to make those staff positions permanent and to add even more staff to help speed up licensing. They point out the agency is self-funded through licensing fees. But with Republicans holding the majority, those changes didn't make it in. Talks are still underway on the bigger ticket items in the budget. Key GOP lawmakers
police department was keeping her hostage in her home with no electricity. She said she had tried to get help from the Wapaka County 911, the ADRC, and other agencies to no avail. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News.
The Badgers Hall of Fame. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The University of Wisconsin announcing 12 new inductees into the Badgers Athletic Hall of Fame, including NFL running back James White, announcer Matt LePay, and basketball player Frank Kaminsky, who led the Badgers to back-to-back appearances in the Final Four.
My 4 years here, I just really wanted to maximize my opportunity. I felt really lucky to be able to have a scholarship to come here in the first place because I wasn't highly recruited. It's just like you get overcome with this emotion that you can't really describe. I love here. I love Wisconsin. I love the school. I love being back on campus.
NFL Packers OTA practices continue in Green Bay. The team adding another receiver to the roster, Sam Brown Jr. from the Miami Hurricanes. Baseball, Brewers opened a 3-game series on the road tonight against the Phillies after a much-needed day off yesterday. Trevor McGill.
Workload's been a lot, and it's just kind of what we needed to do to keep the wins going. So, yeah, just out there for the boys.
That's Brewers pitcher Trevor McGill with Sports on Mike Clemens.
This is your local civic media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and hazy tonight, maybe a stray shower, and low in the upper 40s. For tomorrow, filtered sunshine, highs in the low 70s, and into the mid 70s on Sunday with sunshine. Still a little smoky. 80s Monday. Currently, it's 66.
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker.
This week on the Rational Revolution, we've got Devin Remiker. He's running for chairman of the Wisconsin Democratic Party.
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker, Saturdays at 2, Sundays at 1 on your local civic media radio station and on the app.
Farm Rescue makes sure that you aren't alone. They're there to extend the hand and to take the burden.
Even the most independent farmers need help sometimes, and asking for that help is protecting the future. Farm Rescue provides equipment and volunteers free of charge to assist in times of crisis. We're currently accepting applications for planting and haying assistance. If you or someone you know could use our help, call 701-252-2017 or visit farmrescue.org.
The Todd Albaugh Show.
We are not perfect here at Civic Media. Far be it. Certainly not perfect at this show. But one thing I can assure you of, our owner that I can see right through this glass right now, Sage Weil, has never once told me what to say and encourages us to speak the truth. And that's why, above all else, I'm proud to work for this company. And along with my colleagues, we will bring you what's really happening out there. And if we get it wrong along the way, we'll admit to that and correct ourselves as well.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who prefers to travel by catapult, Pete Schwaba.
That catapult thing. I feel like I've heard that every night for the last 2 weeks.
I haven't played it at all this week.
I will bet you $1,000 you played it. I know this is something you and Todd and Amanda are all in on this, right?
Son of a biscuit.
I just saw, shut the front door. I think I just saw Vanilla Ice walk by.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Going to get some gelato?
Hey, Sidney Sweeney keeps a place in downtown Green Bay. Who's to say?
Ice Baby.
Yeah, and he probably isn't paying the rent she is, but still. Hey, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, folks. Welcome back. We are about to kick off Act 2. Great to have you with me on this Friday night as we ease into the weekend. We had a great talk last hour about incentives with Rex Sykes, the host of Movie Beat. And our question of the night, by the way, and you want to get in on this, folks, because we need some creativity here. We've had some great responses so far, but I hope we can keep them coming. What is your favorite swear word or phrase? What is your go-to? And you can either use like lame words like flippin' or freakin', or, you can use words like the old school fiddlesticks or rats, or say what the HE double hockey sticks, that kind of stuff. So share with us your favorite swear word, but remember we are on the radio. I can work around it with my CIA capabilities of deciphering what you're trying to say, but let us know. Be part of the show. We will read your text on the radio. Hey, I got to read this too, Con. Did you know that Civic Media has another contest?
Oh, do they?
Yeah. It's called the Scotty Summer Text to Win contest here at Civic Media. We do great contests here, and we've had more and more fun with each and every one. And there's another one that starts Monday, June 2nd. I implore you to get in on this. There is no easier way to possibly pocket $100 or get Brewers tickets. All you have to do, you do need the Civic Media app to play, but that's it. And you probably already have it anyway. So tune in every hour in the morning, starting at 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and then 4 p.m. Get the keyword, text it in, and you are eligible for a prize every hour, or at those hours anyway. $100 cash in your pocket or a pair of Milwaukee Brewers club level seats. Conrad's been there. He thinks they're great.
Yeah, they're great.
Every hourly entry qualifies you for 2 grand prize trips too. And you want to get in on those because one of them's in Door County, one of them's in Baraboo, both beautiful places in our state. We're throwing in gas money too. You got to get your own oil change, but this is a great deal. So you have a chance to win at 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 4 p.m. beginning June 2nd. Be part of the fun and play Civic Media's Scotty Summer Text to Win contest. Great stuff. Good luck, everybody. Right now, well, it is a bar band Friday night too. I got to remind everybody, Rocker will be here at 7:35 instead of Terry Barr. Terry is taking a well-deserved vacation. So her pal and co-host at Max Inc. Radio, excellent show. Every Saturday here at Civic Media from 6 to midnight, Rocker will be here, and we'll talk music with Rocker. So Bar Band Friday night lives on even without the bar part of it. And right now I'm excited because we haven't had this guy on in a while, and he is the Civic Media Sports Director. He is incredibly knowledgeable about sports. He speaks articulately about a lot of subjects, though, including Star Wars. And we're going to cover a few things tonight with Jimmy. Jimmy Cuska, ladies and gentlemen, joins us here now on Nightlight. Hey, pal.
Hey, how's it going, man? It really has been like a long time since I'm on the show.
I know.
I miss it.
Well, you were filling in for Mike, and you were kind of, obviously you were in the rotation. We love talking to you, but then I just, I read people, Jim, and I can tell when I'm pestering them or they don't have the time. That's I'm like George Costanza can always tell when someone's not having fun at a party. I know when I'm pushing too hard. So, but either way, it's great to have you back, buddy.
Well, I'm glad to be back. And, it's fun because, for all the things that people talk about, hey, you're a sports guy, whatever. I'm multidimensional. I'm into other things, such as sports. And that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy your show is that, we have a whole day of talk and politics and all the other fun things happening in the world, but we can relax at night and just talk about the things that make us laugh and smile. So that's one of the reasons why I appreciate you, Pete.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Jim. And your $20 is on the way. Thanks for the plug. And you missed who doesn't need $20? Our first hour, Jim, we probably spent 5 minutes talking about lube. Where else can you find that on the Civic Media Radio Network?
Oh my goodness.
You'll just have to go back and listen. All right. So, it's great to have you here. Let's jump right in. You sent a great text, and I read this, and I was like, oh, we have to talk about this on the air. You said that regarding the Star Wars franchise, you just binge watched Andor season 1 and 2 and Rogue One, and you said it was the best of Star Wars. Please elaborate on that.
Yeah. So let me just take it a step back. It's the best of Star Wars if you're looking for an adult version of Star Wars. A lot of the movies and a lot of the marketing is geared towards younger people, right? It's meant to be kind of the original trilogy is a kind of a coming of age, chosen one, hero saves the day kind of thing, right? That's, pretty common in movies and things like that. Andor is a series, along with Rogue One, the movie that was released a few years back. I think it's really more tailored towards adults. You really have to pay attention to details. In a lot of ways, it's a lot like the spy thriller type shows that people like to watch on whatever other platform. It's a different take on the Star Wars universe, and I think that that's the appeal of it, especially if you're somebody who enjoys having multiple plot lines to follow, enjoying character development, depth in characters, and that's a reason why I put it high, not just of Star Wars shows, but of any show. I put it pretty high up there because it gives you a lot to think about, and you can get invested in just about any of the several main characters throughout the series.
That's a great answer. And I'm one of those guys. I like Star Wars. I don't eat, sleep, and breathe it. If I have Star Wars questions, I go to my son. He's more into it. And he, like, even before this interview, I'm like, Joe, what was Rogue One about? Again, because as much as I like Star Wars and they're just outstanding entertainment, I do tend to forget what happened where. There's so many movies, there's so many TV shows. I've watched a few of them with my son, and even on those, I know there's Captain Rex, and this is part of this show, and this guy. But Rogue One, once we got talking about it, you're right, Jim. It is a great movie, and it just has an energy that the other Star Wars don't have, and the ending is pretty bleak, which you don't really see a lot either, right?
Right. And, for the people who originally watched Rogue One when it came out several years ago, after watching Andor, when you watch Rogue One again, after you've seen the 2 seasons of Andor, a lot of things stand out much differently about the movie just based on what you had watched the shows. Like, even the main character, Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, you view him a lot differently in the context of the movie after seeing the series, because the series obviously develops his character, gives him quite the backstory and everything like that. But the motivations in the movie itself, and why he does the things he does, and all the emotional payoffs and hooks that are in the movie, there's a whole bunch of context to it all now, and it brilliantly really explains everything throughout the series. One of the things the series does really well is foreshadows coming. We know the ending. We know Rogue One is coming, right? We know that.
Right.
And still, the show is finding ways to kind of place things along the way that lead you to the things that happen in the movie.
That's so cool. So, all right. So talk us through this for people that are listening, Jim, that have maybe seen both or one. Like, I haven't seen Andor. I've seen Rogue One. Tell us the timeline there. Rogue One or Andor leads into Rogue One, which leads into Episode 4 with Luke Skywalker, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the series leads into Rogue One. So yeah, and then it goes into the original trilogy, Episodes 4 through 6. In fact, the ending of Rogue One is it pretty much, A New Hope picks up right where Rogue One leaves off. The end of Andor Season 2 leads into everything that happens in Rogue One. So it gives you a lot more lead up to Episode 4. So, if you're starting, obviously you would start with Season 1, then go to Season 2, and then go to Rogue One.
Okay. So you binge watched both seasons. How long did that take you?
Quite a while. I mean, I watched them both when they came out right away, and I had seen Rogue One years ago. I just made a decision. I'm like, I'm going to watch it all just in a row. I just want to see how many things I can pick up on and see how everything kind of leads in. Because the first time you watch through, you're watching it for the entertainment. Your brain is off. You're not thinking as much, right?
Yeah.
The second time through, you're trying to pick up on things like, oh, that's what happened, or oh, that character actually plays a part here. 5 episodes later, it's that deep of a show where there's things that happen episodes ago that are suddenly relevant later. So it took me a couple of weeks to get through everything just because of life and things. But I think like I said earlier, the thing I appreciate is that there's a lot of depth to it, and it's not just the main storyline of developing the main character of the show. I feel like the show actually has several main characters. It's not just one character. You're learning a lot more about all of the pieces that kind of move in. And if you're somebody who's really invested into things like politics, or if you're invested in things, the spy thriller stuff, the heist movies, things like that, there's all of those elements throughout both seasons.
That's great. Folks, that is the familiar voice of Civic Media Sports Director Jimmy Kuska. We're talking Star Wars. He's a big fan and just binge watched season 1 and 2 of Andor. Is that on Disney? That's Disney, right?
Yeah, it's Disney Plus. Yep.
So let me ask you this, Jim. Do your kids, are they as big on Star Wars as you are? Do they watch with you? And do they agree with you in your opinion on that it's the best, at least for adults?
My kids are pretty young, so this would not be a show. They're one of them just graduated kindergarten, right? So they're a little young for this. But I think for them, there's a couple of animated shows that they'll watch occasionally, but they're not as into it as I am. I get it from my dad. My dad was really big into it. He's taken me to the theater for all this stuff, so that's where I picked it up from. But my kids not so much. But I do think that that this show is most specifically targeted towards adults. I don't know. I don't know that kids could follow it. There's a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
So there's no Jedi, right? There's no lightsabers in this. So it's not the Star Wars that people think of. They think of lightsabers and big explosive flashy battles. And there are a few battles, but there's no Jedi. There's no lightsaber clashes. None of that. It's a much different take on the Star Wars universe, which is, and not that having a lightsaber too wouldn't be bad, but it's a different take on things. And I think I think people can appreciate that.
Have you seen the Bourne Identity movies?
Yes.
Do you see any similarities? Tony Gilroy wrote those, and I think he's the main writer of Andor or Rogue One. I can't remember, but do you see similarities?
Yeah, there's definitely some crossover pieces. I think there's a couple of twists that really, it makes you call back to some of his other work. Also, just in the sense that, there's characters who you see throughout, and you kind of know where things are kind of heading with certain characters in the show. But it doesn't make any of the payoffs less satisfying knowing what's happening to everybody at the end of all this, which I think is it just lends you to just appreciate the fact that it's an incredibly well written show. And more to that point, when I say there's multiple main characters, we talk, the main character in the show obviously is Andor, Cassian Andor, main character, right? But there's a lot of characters kind of in the universe around him that you learn a lot about. And, I would say that, of all the cast, there are multiple women who are part of this show who all, you could argue, could be the leading actress in this show. There's 5 or 6 of them. And they all do a brilliant job in this. And a couple of them are even relatively new into acting. I think one of the main characters is actually brand new to acting. So there's a lot of depth to the characters. And I think you're right. The Bourne trilogy or the Bourne series, there's definitely some similarities. I think especially in how, character arcs kind of turn out. And the way the show is structured has several mini arcs throughout, 3-episode arcs throughout it too.
That's great. We'll have a few more minutes with one of our pals, Civic Media Sports Director Jimmy Kuska, when we come back after this very short break. Don't leave, folks. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down. Get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Hey, it's Amanda, and we all know that Northeast Wisconsin has some of the best events around, but trying to find them all can be tricky. So here at WGBW, we decided to do the work for you. Prevent boredom on any night by going to WGBW.FM and click events in the top right corner. You'll never have to spend forever scrolling to find out what's going on in your area. And if you got an event to share, hit us up by emailing info@WGBW.FM. We can work together to have real news and great conversation while giving you the 411 on what's happening in New Wisco.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute.
Get off home. I wanna drive them home. When you're feeling blue.
This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. You've got the Civic Media Radio Network, and it is a Bar Band Friday night. Rocker will be here at 7:35 after the news, filling in for his pal Terry Barr tonight. He'll tell us what's coming up on Max Inc. Radio tomorrow night, and we'll talk a little music too, as we do every night here, or every Friday, I should say. Right now, we got a few more minutes with our buddy Jimmy Kuska, Civic Media Sports Director. Jim, I got a couple sports questions for you, but I'd like to put a button on this Star Wars talk. Do you have like after Rogue One and Andor, where do you go? What's your favorite?
So I'm partial to the original trilogy because that's what got me into it. I think that there's just a lot of magic in how simple things were, relative to all the CGI and things that we have now. You can suspend disbelief a little bit and just enjoy those movies for what they are. I don't tend to poke holes in a lot of the older movies that I watch. I just try to enjoy it and just kind of revel in some of the performance too of some of the better actors and things like that. I really enjoy just kind of the introduction to it, and I guess I just kind of take it at that. So I guess it's kind of a boring answer. I know there's also a cartoon. There's cartoon and animated shows that also do really well. With Rebels, with Bad Batch. Bad Batch is one of my personal favorites. It's great. Clone Wars. Like there's a really big expanded universe of Star Wars things, but I always come back to the original trilogy because that's what got me into it. Little nostalgia there.
Great answer, and I'm right there with you. That's fantastic. Are you going to see Mission Impossible?
What's funny is all the movies I see in the theaters now, they're all kids movies. So I've seen the Minecraft movie in the theater about 7 times now. I just got to see the Lilo and Stitch. It's all kids movies. My kids are going in the 4th and 1st grade. So
I don't know why I thought I knew you had young kids. I thought you had a couple old. I can't keep the Civic Media personality kids straight.
Oh my goodness.
Mine are older. Yours are young. Stewart's are in the middle. It's hard to keep track of them, but that's fun. I love watching those movies with my kids. All the kids movies just are so much fun. Hey, before we let you get out of here, I want to ask you something, because I feel like the Bucks are in a really weird spot. What would you, if you were like their GM, what would you do?
What's funny is you get to simulate this. If you buy a video game, you can actually simulate what you would do. And for me, I would be finding a way to turn off the thing that lets the computer say no to trades and just build a roster of nothing but 3-point shooters around Giannis and let him go to work. The Bucks, though, in real life, they don't have that option. They can't force trades. They can't turn off the salary cap. It's going to be kind of a weird year because it's kind of like a gap year, right? They really just need a year to let everything kind of cool off. They don't have any assets to move. There's not a whole lot of roster flexibility. There's no draft picks, nothing in the future they can dish out. They have an injured superstar that they have to wait to return. Achilles injuries are notoriously terrible for professional athletes. It doesn't seem like Giannis is trying to force his way out, but I think this is like one of those years where you kind of just take pause and, maybe it's one of those years. I liken back to when Kobe Bryant was kind of between, after he'd won the championships and he had that year where he didn't have all those pieces around him, and the Lakers basically said, Kobe, you can shoot 100 times, go score 60 points in a game. We don't care. Go have fun. Maybe the Bucks do that with Giannis this year. See if Giannis can score 40 a game. Let him go nuts.
Wow.
That's where I would be, but I'm not an NBA GM either. I want Giannis to stay selfishly in Milwaukee, but I also understand the appeal of wanting a championship and wanting to be on a team that competes for things as well. The Bucks are good as long as Giannis is here. There's nothing you get even close to Giannis in any trade. So I think the Bucks are just going to ride it out and hope that he's happy with probably some kind of rebuilding year coming up.
Yeah, they're in a weird position because you wouldn't blame them for making a move, even if they had to move Giannis. Like, I think they would all part as friends, and the fans would even understand that on some level. But as a fan, you don't want to see your hero leave, right? I mean, it's a weird
and also,
position.
again, you're not getting anything back close to Giannis. You're not getting a transcendent superstar with any of those draft picks you might acquire, with any of those players you get back. You just aren't. You don't get a roster makeover in a trade like that. There's no NBA team that's going to completely gut what it has just to land Giannis, right? They're not going to take 3 or 4 ready-made starter rotation guys and a bunch of draft picks to do it. That's the thing. A trade is only going to happen if Giannis forces it to happen, and when that happens, the Bucks are going to be trading. They're going to be trading their dollar bill for 6 dimes, and they'll have to live with it and they won't be as relevant without Giannis. So
that's a great point. Jim, thanks so much. You're the best, buddy. Great to catch up again.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Like back at you. All right, that's Jimmy Casca, Civic Media sports director. It's funny because we're fans of Jimmy and Mike. They both are phenomenal personalities and do great work. Jimmy's the sports director, and I kind of call Mike the sports authority because that's more of a vague term, right?
Yeah.
And then there's no pecking order because those guys are friends.
What would you call yourself?
Sports walkings. I don't know. A bench warmer. How does that sound?
There you go.
The Civic Media bench warmer. That's what I am. I think in high school I was like the ninth guy, like the sixth man. That was a term I didn't even understand when I moved to Marinette. When I was like in sixth grade, people were like, "Oh, I'm the sixth man." I'm like, "What is it?" I'd never heard that before. I'm like, "So you don't start, but you're bragging about it." It's just a weird. But there's nothing wrong with being the first guy off the bench. My whole high school career, I was like maybe eighth on a good day, most likely 9th, 10th, or 11th. That's what happens when you can't dribble.
I was left corner, so I was all the way at the
left
13.
corner. Explain that.
All the way at the end.
You were like, is he on the bench for the team or is he watching the game? You're like, that gray area. It'd be great if I was the sixth man on like a football team. But never quite got there either.
Yeah.
All right. So our question of the night, folks, what is your go-to swear word or phrase? 608 says piece of effing S. Mine was just piece of S, but this 608 is putting another adjective in there. Ed from Madison says, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a bad
I can read that, but I don't even think you can read that in the air. Thank you, Ed, and thank you, 608. We're coming right back. It is a bar band Friday night rocker is coming up next, folks. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is the talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. At a rally in Pennsylvania, President Trump saying he's going to double the tariff on steel to 50%.
It's at 25%, they can sort of get over that fence. At 50%, they can no longer get over the fence.
Trump making the announcement at a rally of steelworkers at U.S. Steel near Pittsburgh this afternoon, celebrating investments by Japan's Nippon Steel and the company. The president marking Elon Musk's departure from the administration with an Oval Office press conference. Trump saying that Musk will leave his mark.
Many of the Doge people, Elon, are staying behind too, so they're not leaving. And Elon's really not leaving. He's going to be back and forth, I think. I have a feeling.
A major win for the White House in the battle over immigration. The Supreme Court granting the Trump administration's request to revoke humanitarian parole for more than 500,000 immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. This is ABC News.
The Badgers Hall of Fame. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The University of Wisconsin announcing 12 new inductees into the Badgers Athletic Hall of Fame, including NFL running back James White, announcer Matt LePay, and basketball player Frank Kaminsky, who led the Badgers to back-to-back appearances in the Final Four.
My 4 years here, I just really wanted to maximize my opportunity. I felt really lucky to be able to have a scholarship to come here in the first place because I wasn't highly recruited. It's just like you get overcome with this emotion that you can't really describe. I love here. I love Wisconsin. I love the school. I love being back on campus.
NFL Packers OTA practices continue in Green Bay. The team adding another receiver to the roster, Sam Brown Jr. from the Miami Hurricanes. Baseball, Brewers opened a 3-game series on the road tonight against the Phillies after a much-needed day off yesterday. Trevor McGill.
Workload's been a lot, and it's just kind of what we needed to do to keep the wins going. So, yeah, just out there for the boys.
That's Brewers pitcher Trevor McGill with Sports on Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Some people seem to forget that the Me Too movement was supposed to change things for the better. According to a new lawsuit being filed, Kevin Costner is not one of them. A 34-year-old female stunt performer on Costner's bomb, Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 2, alleges she was a victim of sexual discrimination, harassment, and the creation of a hostile work environment, according to the New York Post. Costner and his legal team are denying all allegations and probably trying to forget that this clunker of a movie even exists. In reboots that don't need to happen, especially for shows that ran too long in the first place news, Duck Dynasty is coming back. I know what you're thinking. Oh, joy. The Robertson family are the marketing geniuses who pretended to be hillbillies to get actual hillbilly viewers. Duck Dynasty, the revival, premieres June 1st on A&E and is already renewed for a season 2. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and hazy tonight, maybe a stray shower, and low in the upper 40s. For tomorrow, filtered sunshine. Highs in the low 70s and into the mid 70s on Sunday with sunshine. Still a little smoky. 80s Monday. Currently at 64 degrees.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Michael Negron of the Small Business Majority.
The Trump administration thinks that they're doing solid for small business with their policies. And so having business owners out there talking about how, whether it's tariffs, whether it's potential cuts to healthcare, how it's going to hurt their bottom line, how it's going to hurt their consumers or their employees. I do think that will have a real impact. Every time he does something, he gets really bad feedback and he retreats in the face of it.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekday afternoons, 4 until 6 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Mornings with Pat Kreitlow.
This is for people who watched me anchoring the news at Channel 13. My last day at TV 13 was 20 years ago yesterday.
Oh, I'm old now, too.
Well, yeah, that was my whole point.
Pat, I was, too, when you stopped working at TV.
That's what I get all the time now is people come up and they go, oh, were you on TV? I'm like, yeah. And then I go, don't say it. I watched you when I was a little kid. I'm like, yikes.
Catch Mornings with Pat Kreitlow at its new time. Weekdays 6 to 9 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app. The Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show.
This week we visit with
Time to check out original music with Bar Band Friday on Nightlight. Now your host, Pete Schwaba, and special guest, Terry Barr.
Terry Barr is a special guest, but she is not here tonight. So the bar band part of this segment is gone. It's just a band Friday night. We'll rename it Rocker Band Friday Night because Terry Barr's co-host at Max Inc. Radio is filling in for Terry, who is taking a well-deserved vacation. It is my pleasure to welcome back to Nightlight our good pal Rocker, who is filling in for Terry. Hey, buddy, how are you?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Dude, I really appreciate you filling in for Terry. I like to keep this going, and I love nothing more than to talk about music with you guys because you and Terry both have turned me on to more music, and a lot of it homegrown that I just love. It's fantastic. So thank you. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. Thank you. Great day.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Started out this morning on the John and Gordy show talking about Max Inc. Radio, and we finished the night on Pete Schwaba.
That's great. It looks like you have an excellent show tomorrow. You've got a few bands coming. You got a great band at Live in the Lair. I've heard of these guys, Lower Fifth, but I don't know much about them. Can you tell us about them?
The Lower Fifth are a band that probably started in Madison around 2012, and they're just a great instrumental folk kind of Americana type act. And their singer Luke Jorgensen was just a major player in the music scene here in Madison, and he passed away suddenly a year or something before the pandemic. And the band kind of was like, you know what, we're going to keep going in his name and keep it rolling. So they're just an amazing group, I think, of people. And they're led by Corey Swadley, Paul Metz on drums, Audrey Pescatelli on bass and vocals, and Jeremy Henning on trombone, and Michael Berger trumpet. We're going to have a duo tomorrow night live in the studio on Max Inc. Radio. Max Inc. Radio is on the Civic Media Radio Network, 6 p.m. to midnight. And we feature interviews, we feature live music performance, and this week with the Lower Fifth. And one really cool thing about the Lower Fifth is that they will also be playing at Woodfest. And if you don't know, I'm the guy who kind of is the music programmer at Atwood Fest. So
Love
we
it.
just broke the schedule. We have 3 stages over 2 days with 30 bands. So tonight is going to feature many of those bands who are playing, and next week as well. Right now, the Lower Fifth will be playing Sunday, July 27th on the Sugar Maple stage, and I have a little clip to play. This is from their song called Hope. This is the Lower Fifth.
Love it.
Hope now lift me up and now hold on to me. Hope now take away the things I don't need for a while, or I take my final breath. Hope you're not leaving, hope you're all that I have left. There's a need, there's a soul, there's a way to carry on. There's a whisper in my breath for you. All I need is what I take. Hear what I said. Hope now lift me up and now hold on to me. Hope now take away the things I don't need for a while.
I love that trumpet. That sounds great.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
You know, horns, Americana, folk, great guitar player, and a lot of vocals.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night.
And they're live in the Lair at 9 p.m., correct?
8 p.m.
Oh, 8 p.m. Okay. All right. So that's Lower Fifth. That was the song Hope, folks. You can listen to them tomorrow night. You should tune into Max Inc. from 6 to midnight. But at Live in the Lair, Lower Fifth will be there at 8 p.m. for a solid hour. How many songs will they play there, Rocker, within that hour?
Alive in the Lair features 6 songs with interview between the songs.
Great.
And we feature a live concert in our studio every Saturday night. So it's always worth it to tune in. We just have tons and tons of great artists. And you can actually hear a lot of that stuff if you go to the website, civicmedia.us/Max Inc. Radio.
Have you built a mantle at your home yet, Rocker, for all the hardware you guys are taking home from these award shows for Max Inc.? That's pretty amazing.
You know, we've been fortunate to win some awards last year and this year already in the Whammy Awards. I actually won online on-air personality of the year. And so I'm up for the same award with Terry. I'm going against Terry. So we're going to see where people voted. For on-air personality for the Mama Awards, the Madison Area Music Awards. And she's an all-star there, so I lost to her last year.
It's all good for the show, though, so.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
We love it, man. She's awesome. I love her.
Yeah, you guys are awesome together, too. Tell us about Adam. I don't even want to try to say that last name. Is it the Adam?
Adem Tesfaye.
Adem Tesfaye. Oh, I like that.
Adem Tesfaye, the Adem Tesfaye band. You know what's kind of funny is right when I'm done with radio tonight, I'm going to see him live because he's playing tonight in Madison at the Burr Oak.
Yeah,
which
I
is
saw
on
that.
Madison's east side, the Winnebago Street.
That's so great.
And doors are at 7, so I'm just going to walk in there probably when the show starts. Adem Tesfaye, he was in the Black Poet Society, rock, hip-hop, funk. He's a legend here in Madison. He moved to New York City to pursue a music career. And then when he was back here visiting, the lockdowns happened, and he was just like, you know what, I'm just staying in Madison. Things were getting crazy, so it's pretty great because we got him back, and he's just an awesome band. It's going to be a night of soul, groove, and connection. The lights are going to be low, and the band's going to be tight, and the energy pure, fire, and intimacy. He's going to be playing at Woodfest. He's going to be headlining the Luther Allison stage on Sunday, July 27th at 6 p.m. And I have a little clip from Adem Tesfaye Band. It is from his 2022 EP. This song is called The Being Way.
All right.
See, if it ain't perfect, you don't waste your time. Then you say it ain't worth it.
but then you stand in line. You gotta see what you wanna be. You gotta see to be away, to be away. Yeah. So let's start and get to the heart of the answers. And I can be where it is. Just a small part of the process for what it is. That lost and promise. That don't make promises.
Don't make promises. Don't make promises.
Say, I hope you don't lose it.
That was, say it again, Roger. Adem Tesfaye? Adem
Tesfaye.
Adem Tesfaye. Okay,
Adem.
here we go.
Yes.
Love that
Tesfaye.
sound. That was great. Boy, Atwood
Adem
Fest sounds like
Tesfaye
it's
band.
going to
He'll be
be.
headlining Atwood Fest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I sent you the list. We just released the schedule yesterday.
I got to make it down there for one of those.
Again, Atwood Fest is July 26th and 27th. It happens on Madison's east side on Atwood Avenue from Tex Taco Tubs all the way to Monty's Blue Plate. There are 3 stages: the Luther Allison stage, the Clyde Stubblefield stage, and the Sugar Maple stage. And so there's about 30 bands over 2 days. And backstage at the festival, we feed this year probably about 275 musicians over 2 days.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
I have heard nothing but amazing stuff about Atwood Fest. I got to check it out. But let's get to my guest is Rocker. He's filling in for Terry Barr tonight for Bar Band Friday night. He's her co-host on the award-winning Max Inc. Radio, which you can check out here at Civic Media on the network every Saturday from 6 to midnight. And be sure and check out Live in the Lair tomorrow at 8 p.m. where you can hear Lower Fifth. And we just heard a sample for them. I want to get to VO5. I want to make sure we get VO5 in because every year, like the first few years I went to the Wisconsin Film Festival, they always played the party, the opening night party, and they are so fun. Tell us about VO5.
Wow. Well, VO5 I've been booking Atwood Fest and Atwood Summerfest since 2002. So for 23 years, right? Jeez. In about 2008, me and my wife were actually going to on Halloween. I was dressed as Darth Rocker and she was dressed as Padme. And we walked into the Frequency Bar and there was this band playing disco and they were wearing angels outfits and halos and wings. And my wife loves disco and she loves dancing. So we're, boogieing down and she's like, oh, you have to hire these guys, for Atwood Fest. And I was thinking to myself, a disco band for the rock stage. And so we did. And people started showing up and they danced. And the next year we hired them and moved them up the schedule and people came. And within a couple of years, they had worked up to be the headliner and just thousands and thousands of people come to dance in the streets to VO5 at Atwood Fest every year. So it's really a magical community experience. And when you look around and see the people's faces in the crowd, just go to the website, atwoodfest.com. And we have a couple pictures from last year where the people are just smiling, having a great time. It's really one of the best festivals, I think, even though I happen to be a huge part of it, but
yeah,
it's really good.
All right. So we got a song here from VO5 or a sample.
We do. They'll be playing at Disco on the Lake here at the East Side Club in Madison on Thursday, June 5th at 6 p.m. And they'll be playing Atwood Fest July 26th after Fat Function. That'll be on the main stage of Clyde Stubblefield stage. Right now, this is one of their originals. And this song is called Soul Shiny Day from their album Dance Originality.
All right.
When I wake in the morning and the souls are blowing, look into a sun blue sky, and I feel as high, and my feet are on fire, spirits rising higher and higher on a brand new day, chase my troubles away, passing lovers on the side of the road and hand in hand. Throw a fist to a buddy in the golden sand. Nothing with
Too bright for the neighbors on the bay. And we just don't care, 'cause we love that sweet sunshine day. You might think it's nothing, just another boring day.
That is awesome. Because I know they made their Chops as a cover band, but that's a great original.
Oh yeah, and they have that album is a great album, and they perform quite a few originals now, as well as the great hits. People are gonna love the big disco hits. They're gonna play Disco Inferno,
Rocker, you got a fan here. PJ, listening or watching on the stream, says, all that live music is what I miss about living in Madison. Well said, PJ. And PJ also answers our question tonight. He says, used to have a favorite that would confuse people often. Yuck foo, bun of a stitch, go back off in your own jackyard. If you rearrange the letters, you'll get it. We get it, PJ. We'll have a few more minutes with Rocker after a very short break here, folks. It's Bar Band Friday night on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
There's progress, we have found a way to talk around.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SAND25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SAND25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SAND25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
I'm Tony Goldwyn. As an actor and a director, I attend a lot of screenings, but there's one that's different. It's important, and it could save your life. A lung cancer screening. You know, I lost my mom to lung cancer when she was just 68 years old. Screenings help diagnose lung cancer early when it's most treatable, even curable. A quick low-dose CT scan is all it takes. Go-To for lung cancer is your go-to. Visit goto.org.
Matt Nair on air.
The Joint Finance Committee just had 4 meetings around the state of Wisconsin. The top 3 things of concern to people were education, healthcare, and childcare. The Republicans stripped all of those things out of Governor Evers' budget. So I'm thinking about going next time just to make sure that they all put their phones down when I'm talking to them, because I have a feeling they're all playing Candy Crush because they're not paying attention to what people are saying.
Catch Matt Nair on air at its new time, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with with me for a few more minutes here on a Friday night. Hope you have a great weekend. Monday night, I will be live from Madison doing the show, lighting up State Street, folks. It's going to be a great show. Filmmaker Austin Galante, I hope I'm saying that right, will be in the studio. He's got a new film. He's a Madison-based filmmaker. And then my pal Ben Reiser, who does all the programming at UW Cinematheque, will be joining me in studio as well for some movie talk. Our question of the night was, what is your go-to swear word? Keep it clean for the radio. Terry Ryan he is in the 414. I think it's a she. Did we establish that, Con?
Not sure.
Week we had that. All right. She says, F them if they can't take a joke. That's one of my go-tos. I love that one too. People that are like too uptight and can't laugh. Heath in DeForest says F stain or fudge stain.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of using that one myself sometimes. And then Steady Eddie says, I'm listening to Nightlight on this BBFN from my giggle room, which is just down the hall from my Pete Schwaba inspired wiggle room. I don't swear too much in public, but I curse like a drunken sailor in private, mostly at TV commercials. I'm with you, Eddie. He says, GD it, Pete. Fun fact, gentle giant Hoss Cartwright, Dan Blocker on the TV show Bonanza, would cuss by saying, Dad gummit. I swear he really did. It's true. No SHI blank Sherlock, Pete and Conrad. Have a good weekend, all three of you. Steady Eddie, thank you, buddy. And Lil Irv on the stream finally says, I don't know what that means, Conrad. Do you? Shiv?
So I'll say this. Instead of the U or the C, he puts a V.
A V. I kind of know what he's doing.
Yeah,
I don't even think I could say what he put. So
No, I wouldn't try.
All right, we've got a few more minutes here with our pal Rocker. He is one of the co-hosts of Max Inc. Radio that you can listen to here on the Civic Media Radio Network every Saturday. The award-winning Max Inc. Radio from 6 to midnight. He is filling in for his co-host Terry Barr. Rocker, who should we get to next, Rocker? And by the way, you look great, man. I'm glad you're feeling better and you're on the mend. You look like $1 million. How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. You know, I got to go practice with my band for the first time since I had a heart attack and my cardio rehab and all that stuff. So I'm really happy to be playing in the band and looking forward to trying to play in some shows in the fall and kind of, get back to doing things.
And is that a sign like you're really fully back when you can actually jam with the band?
I think so. I mean, I use big sticks and I don't play in a country band.
That's great. All right, so we got time probably for one more. Who do you want to go with here, Rock? Parker Barrow, Jeremiah James Band.
Well, Jeremiah James Band, that would be a band that'd be great. We can get to Parker Barrow maybe next week.
Okay.
Jeremiah James Band, they're going to be playing Atwood Fest on Sunday, July 27th, 4 p.m. Luther Allison stage. Jeremiah James Band is from Appleton. They're the 2025 Bammies
nice.
Band of the Year. Right?
Wow.
That's Bammies. That's up in your territory, right?
Yeah. We got to get them on.
Music. Right.
Would love to have them on. Yeah.
Jeremiah and his wife, Emily Jams, they front the band. They're incredible multi-instrumentalists. They even added a new drummer. So they have 2 drummers. And they're really fun. I thought they're really great. They're playing all over the place. June 25th, they're up in Green Bay at Hagemeister Park. On July 4th, they're at One Barrel Brewing Company up in Door County, which that would be a lot of fun to see.
Oh, that's fantastic. We're right next
August
door.
13th at the Tarleton Truck Yard.
Oh, God, they're like right near. Hagermeister Park is like next door, and the Tarleton is just a few blocks down. So there you go. All right. So,
well, I got a song from them. This is one of their latest songs. It's by Jeremiah James Band. This is called Dancing in Your Soul.
All right.
Twinkle in your eye. There's a twinkle, baby, still in your eye. We're gonna keep it burning bright. Gonna go out and have some fun tonight. In your soul. Play the music and let it grow.
Jeremiah James Band. Love it. That's great.
Jeremiah Jams.
Oh, Jams. I'm sorry. I can't read my own writing.
Jeremiah Jams, man.
Hey, we
Aren't
got
they
another
great?
we got another text on the stream. PJ says, oh, I know the Jeremiah Jams. He says, I live in Neenah, and my friends in Oshkosh know Jeremiah, and I have hung out with them at their shows.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. You're bringing the truth to the people. Rocker, thank you so much, buddy. It's great to see you, and I really appreciate you filling in for Terry. And if you're game, we'll do this again next week. It'll be great to continue this.
Sounds good. I'll put together another batch of songs, and we can preview a little more of the bands that are coming to Atwood Fest. Oh, and by the way, we have Austin Galante on our show tomorrow night. So he's really hitting up the Civic Media Radio Network. He's also going to be on John and Gordy, I think, Monday. So he's making the rounds. He's doing good.
That's great. And I'm glad I pronounced his name right, even though it was kind of an accident. But thank you, buddy. Great to see you, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate
You got it. That's Rocker. He ain't in no country band, Conrad. That was my favorite line of the night.
Yeah,
I love it. All right. Thank you to Rocker for filling in for Terry. Thank you to Rex Sykes. Thanks to Jimmy Kuska. Thank you for all your texts, folks. And have a great weekend. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, good night, Wisconsin.
But that don't mean I can't get you there. I guess he's an Xbox and I'm more Atari. But the way you play your game ain't fair. I picture the fool that falls in love with you. Oh, she's a gold. Well, just want you to know. Ooh, I've got some news for you. Yeah, go on and run tell your little boy.